Well, this was interesting last night on cable news. I just stumbled upon it. I found Bernie Sanders doing a town hall on CNN. Can you believe it?
Books on sale in the lobby.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he's doing a town hall on CNN. Caitlin Collins is hosting, and you've got AOC in the mix as well.
So can we bring Joy Reid and Don Lemon? Bring them all out here.
Oh, man, it truly was Dumb and Dumber, Marxist and more Marxist, whatever you want to call it. It was just as brutal as you would expect. But it did give us some insight into what's going on day 16 of this government shutdown here. All right? So a lot of people have said on this show, Mark Alford has said this, Eric Schmidt said this yesterday, Missouri U.S. Senator, that what this really is about Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate, wanting to basically hold off a primary from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And yesterday, in this town hall on CNN, Caitlin Collins asked that of AOC, and listen to how she flounders, and then Bernie comes in for the bailout at the very end.
Saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you? No.
Let me jump in on this one. This is what we're
talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're talking about.
You have a country that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run. What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. So run more.
Nobody cares. It's the House Speaker and President Trump and the Vice President saying it.
All right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issue.
Exactly.
And here, let me tell you what the real issue is. Let's see if CNN talks about it. We're living in the richest country in the history of the world.
I've heard of that. Enough of that crap. All right. Baba Book.
The left eating the left. That's great.
Oh, that was so good. I love how Bernie goes down this list. Oh, I just want to hear that list just one more time. I just want to hear that.
Saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
All right.
No.
Let me jump in on this one. This is what we're
talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're talking about.
You have a country that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality.
That's because of you guys. All right? I mean, you destroyed the education system. The healthcare system stinks. Obamacare was supposed to be great, and now no one can afford it unless you guys subsidize it for people making $100,000+ a year. The housing market has been in full-blown, crisis mode for several years now, and that, I will admit, is a little deeper than one side of the political aisle or the other. And income inequality, I mean, yes, it is a real problem. There's no doubt about it. And what do we see happening in the makeup of our two political parties? Those with money, the wealthy, are running to the Democrat Party in droves. The middle class and what's left of it, the working class, running to the Republican Party in droves. You guys are losing the working class that you claim to be helping, that you have insisted for decades you are the supporters of, and they are no longer buying your BS. That's what's going on. That's why Bernie Sanders is upset. They have sniffed him out. They are done. The blue dog Democrats are non-existent anymore. And it's because all these things that you fight for, you have made worse. As government spending has gone up at tremendous rates the last half decade since COVID, what has happened? The income inequality gap has grown. The wealthier have gotten richer. There's no doubt about it. Why? Well, because the markets have done tremendous, because we have injected trillions of dollars that we do not have into our economic system that has been good for the markets and good for the wealthy, and it's squeezed the little guy. The little guy cannot, or little girl, and there's only two of them. The little guy, the little girl can't get ahead, okay? They can't keep ahead of inflation. They don't have the investments to do it. They don't have the income to do it. And if Bernie and AOC had their way, we'd still be giving out free checks to people like it was COVID. And they would be trying to buy the goodwill of the American people with $1,000 to $2,000 checks while the dollar gets absolutely decimated. So I don't want to hear from Bernie on any of this stuff. And I haven't heard Bernie's voice in a very long time. But when I hear it, John, boy, does it get me ramped up all these years later.
How about him mansplaining there? Right? Now, with AOC, I have noticed the more teeth, the farther out over her skis she has, the more teeth you see. And I could tell she was smiling ear to ear without seeing that clip.
Yeah.
So, well, let me take this one. I'll get in there. Like,
You're
whoa,
right.
mansplainer.
That is a total mansplaining moment right there. If Trump did that to Pam Bondi, you'd be seeing headlines on CNN all over the place.
Yeah, you can think of a million examples, folks.
Oh, on the text line, Bernie has become a cartoon character of himself. He needs a reality show. I think John would executive produce that and do a really good job. Oh, man. That was just too much. And then came this moment last night. AOC was asked whether or not health care should be available for illegal immigrants in this country. And she took about a minute to answer the question. And the answer, of course, is yes, but she just won't say yes because she knows that is political suicide, at least if you want to run for president, which she's being rumored to be considering.
Can I ask you on this to follow up? Because you said that it is federal law that people, undocumented immigrants, can't get Medicare, Medicaid, the Obamacare subsidies. Do you believe that should be the law, though? Or do you think undocumented immigrants should have access to federally funded health care?
I believe personally that health care is a human right. I believe that every person should be able to go to the doctor. But I believe that right now, federal law is the federal law. And that absolutely, that U.S. citizens and people who pay into our programs deserve to be covered by these programs. And I mean, once again, I do believe that the federal laws that we have on the books are appropriate.
But if you could choose, do you believe that should be changed?
Pardon?
If you could choose, do you believe that the federal law should be changed?
I don't. I believe in a single-payer healthcare system where if you go in and you need a doctor, you can get the medical attention that you need.
Okay, let me just.
All right, I'm done, Bernie. No.
Some more explaining.
That is her saying yes. That's it. That's the answer. AOC's answer to that question is yes. Okay? That's it. Let's be very clear. She took 55 seconds to say in a roundabout way, yes. And I don't know about you, but I don't think anything should be free that requires somebody else's labor to do it. That's the best way to explain it. Why should somebody have access to something and make it free when it requires somebody else's labor to get it done? Unless you want all your doctors and all your nurses to also be federal employees and make them all bureaucrats and really just blow this thing out and grow the government. Hey, we're only $37 trillion in debt. Why not just double the number while you're at it? All right. But that's really what we're talking about here. And if you think you'll get better doctors and better nurses and a better system with more government involvement and oversight, look at what the conversation is right now. Obamacare doesn't work. The system has failed. We have proof of that because the debate over the shutdown is tied into whether or not we continue to subsidize Obamacare for people making six figures. The whole point of Obamacare was to bring down the cost for everybody. And now, because it's been such an utter failure, you have to subsidize it, which is money from the taxpayer, to make it somewhat affordable for pretty high earners. And somehow doing more of that is a good idea. Oh, because it hasn't been tried right. That's always what they say. It hasn't been tried correctly. Please. You buying that at this point? I mean, it was everything last night that I expected it would be when I was watching some of this town hall, because there wasn't much on last night. For some reason, I thought last night was Thursday. So I'm looking for Thursday Night Football, and I'm like, oh, that's not on. Then I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on cable news. And I'm like, oh, boy, well, this is probably more entertaining in many respects than Thursday Night Football. What do we got tonight? We got Bengals and Steelers. People always get annoyed with how I say Bengals. Maybe I say it like Bungles. I don't know. But anyway, you got Bengals and Steelers tonight. But since there was no football last night, I figured I'd watch the town hall. Best I could do. 913-408-7957, our text line. And our studio line on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. And streaming, as always, on the KCMO Talk Radio app. On the text line, Pete, it's not a right if someone else has to pay for it. Great line as well. Totally agree with you there. I'm with you 100%. Paul in Kansas City. What's up, Paul?
Hey, Pete, Bernie needs to look just across the Atlantic to Great Britain. I watch Sky News. That National Health Service they got over there is a disaster. It is sucking that country, the economic downturn for that they put into their National Health Service. People can't get appointments. If you got any kind of specialty care, they don't even have dental. Their dental program is a disaster. If you want dental, you got to pay an exorbitant amount in private dental
so
healthcare.
the rich have good teeth, and everyone else, looks like they're out of the dark ages.
It does. It's terrible. But that National Health Service, so don't tell me, Bernie, about how great government health care is.
Yeah, you're right. Well done there, Paul. That's great. They don't want to use the real-world examples because the real-world examples don't actually back them up. There was another town hall last night some of you are alluding to. It was on News Nation. It was Bill O'Reilly. He was on there. Stephen A. Smith, Chris Cuomo, and then they had a rotating cast of various politicians. And there was one line in particular by one politician that did stand out to me above the rest. And Bill O'Reilly's going to be on the show tomorrow morning at 8:05. So we'll talk to him about that. He was also at the White House this week for the Charlie Kirk Medal of Freedom that was given by President Trump to Erica Kirk. So we have a lot to talk to Bill O'Reilly about tomorrow morning, 8:05. But the highlight from that other town hall last night we'll get to coming up next. So this was actually really good last night. Some of you saying, hey, I watched that News Nation town hall, which had Bill O'Reilly and Stephen A. Smith and Chris Cuomo at the Kennedy Center. And you're right. I watched that, too. I just found Bernie Sanders and AOC more entertaining. It's like watching a train wreck. You kind of enjoy that, especially when you're in the mood for it. Like, I thought I'd be watching Thursday Night Football until I realized it was Wednesday night. So I'm like, all right, if I can't watch grown men banging into each other for a living, I'll just watch this train wreck on CNN.
We used to have the Newlyweds game on TV where Bob Eubanks would ask questions to couples and you'd watch them wreck each other, So it's kind of reminiscent of that for me, like a game show.
That sounds like a great show.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Couple number 2, you have 25 points. 15 will give you 40.
When was this? How long ago?
Well, here we go. Mid-late 60s.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
So on CNN, they had John Fetterman on there. And this line from Tim Burchett, he is a congressman from Tennessee. He says this about how we need to be able to interact with each other on the left and the right and humanize each other. And he talked about some of his own personal examples in Washington, D.C., but he admitted it's something that is not done to the extent that it was done a generation ago. Here's what he said.
I can respect a liberal. I respect Cortez. She's my buddy. I mean, she's a Marxist. She's a friendly neighborhood Marxist, as I always call her. And I say stuff to her. She'll get on one of my videos, and I'm walking off the floor of the house, and I say, hey, Cortez. And she go, hey, Burchett. And I tell people, don't look at her too long. She'll steal your soul. And we have that kind of relationship, and we can joke about it. And that's the trouble with what's going on in this country right now. Steve Cohen, probably as far left as you can be. He's Jewish, and I try to be a Christian. We came from Tennessee together. We raised the speed limit together. And we were I always joked we'd go out to eat dinner at night because he was so far to the left and I was so far to the right, we met on the other side. But honestly, sometimes I just want to scratch his eyes out, But he called my mama when my daddy died, and you can't get past that. And that is what we've lost in this thing.
He's absolutely right. That is what we've lost in this thing. And we've lost it because of social media. We don't interact with each other. Yesterday I was picking up a sandwich for lunch, and I just do what a lot of us do. I ordered it on my phone. I ran out in the middle of the day, came back to the station, and it wasn't ready yet. So I'm standing there, and what do? What do we all do? Pull out the phone, start scrolling. And they must have been short-staffed because there was like 15 of us sitting there waiting for a sandwich. And at one point I stop and I look around and I'm like, not that I really wanted to talk to these people, but we're all just doing the same thing. We're in our bubbles, on our phones, living completely different lives while standing 2 to 3 feet away from each other. All of us. And I stood there for 10 minutes. And I don't think outside of 2 ladies who seemed to know each other, like they were there together, nobody else said a word to each other. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to start talking politics at the sandwich shop. That's not what I'm saying. But you can create your own reality. And you can do it through the phone where you don't interact with a single soul. So whether it's politicians in Washington, D.C., or it's just those of us every day walking the streets of Kansas City, we've done this to ourselves. And a lot of people want to say, oh, well, it's Trump's rhetoric or something like that. No, it's not. Okay. This started long before Trump. And that's not to say that Trump can't do a better job at times, but he's not the driver of any of this. He's not. We are lonelier. And I say this as a culture, as a country, we are lonelier than ever. We have less human interaction than ever. Everything is right on that screen. You can now have relationships with AI online. It's sick. And none of it's good. And I admit, I don't know how to fix it. I'm not sitting here saying I've got the answer on how to fix it. But I do know a part of it is at least hearing our political class say, I think AOC is nuts. But I respect her. We interact. We joke with each other. I think she's crazy. She's your neighborhood Marxist. Or he talks about the other guy who called his mom when his dad died. Totally disagrees with the guy and everything political. But it's a humanizing moment. And we've got to have more of those as we look to the future and look to trying to bridge some of these divides. And it's not going to happen overnight. There's not one person or one thing that's going to change it. But at least hearing stories like what I heard from Tim Burchett last night on CNN or on News Nation was definitely encouraging.